Okay, so Eckhart Tolle talks about the power of now in his first book, and he talks about the pain body. And the question is he correct when he says the pain body is a lot of like ancestral pain? And it comes here for you to transmute it. I said that you might have some pain when you regret things you have done in the past, in this life, being cruel to others. But the idea that past life hurts are coming to you now in the form of the pain body, I said that's ridiculous. Why is it ridiculous? It's ridiculous because everything is now. We are used to saying that was the past and that will be the future. But even Eckhart Tolle talks about how it's really not true. We are always in the present, and if we're going to think about the past, the memories of the past, they're past nows. Or are those past now moments still living in now? Well, the way that I understood him to say it, that was the past, and this doesn't exist anymore. That's what I understood at the time when I read the book. Now I'm beginning to consider perhaps the past is still alive. Those now moments that we experienced up till this now moment are still alive, still going on. If that is so, then all the pain that you experience if you have a pain body attack, where is it coming from? Is it coming from the past, the dead past, or a living past? Or is it just he got it wrong? Is it that he got it wrong and that the pain body, he said it came from the past, and maybe he got that wrong. Maybe the pain is coming from demonic entities in the present now moment. And because if I go back to my original interpretation of what he was saying in The Power of Now, the past is dead. It doesn't exist anymore. Somebody wants to ask about time travel. I mean, there's so many questions that come up about this. Is time travel possible? In Star Trek, it was. But is it really possible in our reality? Richard Bach, the author of Illusions, said in his book Messiah's Handbook, don't limit the is, which means there are no limits. The only limits there are the ones that you put into place. And even when you do put limits into place, are they really limits? Infinity is an incredibly difficult concept to get through your head. Humans in our mundane world don't live with infinity. They call us mortals because we live for 75 or 95 years, if we're lucky, or if we're unlucky. But mort is the French word for death. That's why we're called mortals, because we suffer death. We have a limited lifespan. Or do we? So, if we go with the idea that there are demonic entities that send us horrible nightmares and pain and disease, they do it in the present moment. How they do it I don't know. It sounds like a completely different lecture. But let's say that they are doing it in the present moment. I once thought the world that we're seeing is constantly being manifested and remanifested moment to moment. This is in opposition to what virtually all humans think. Virtually all humans believe what they were told in high school history, that the Earth is, I don't know, maybe 3 billion-year-old planet. And, everything that is here, all of the physical things, all are basically the same things that were here 3 billion years ago. But that is a very physical idea. And we know from quantum physics that it's incorrect. It is based on Newtonian physics. Newton was, I think, the 1700s. So, quantum is about, I can't tell you quantum, and even the best minds of the time, the early 1900s, said, if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't understand quantum physics. And I'm not going to try and top that one. But if we are constantly living in the now moment, then everything that is going on in the now moment is manifesting now. And in this moment, now again, manifesting again. Is there a gap between what is manifested here and now and what manifests the next 2 seconds? Or is it just continuous? It sounds like a mathematics problem. The answer is it can't be determined by me. I can say something, but I can't prove it. But the question is of the great masters. Let's take I don't know if you've ever looked up the name Babaji. Babaji, who manifests realities like a magician and then demanifests them like a magician when he's done with them. Are there more senior spirits than me? I call myself a spirit. I think the body that you're seeing here, you think it's just one person, but to me, there's multiple spirits involved with this body-mind complex. And is it possible that there are very senior spirits and junior spirits? Are new spirits being created? And are there some old souls? If that's true, perhaps there is a growth process for spirits, and you don't become a creative spirit until you're an old soul and you've had a lot of experience. Who grants you these powers? Maybe it's infinite intelligence. I don't know. But if that's the case, that there are more senior spirits and there are junior spirits, well, the job of the senior spirits is to oversee the growth of the junior spirits, perhaps. And there could be some ancient spirits who fell off the path of growth and got stuck in a spiritual trap. And apparently, there are quite a few spiritual traps that you can get stuck into. But some of these ancient spirits got stuck in the trap of becoming demonic to others. Who's going to take on the task of defanging, in other words, removing the fangs from a snake, defanging demonic spirits? It certainly sounds like a challenge. Are you up for it? I have no experience defanging demonic spirits. I don't even think they exist. I think it's just something we see in Hollywood movies like The Exorcist, or Friday the 13th, or Halloween, or whatever that one is about Chucky, little doll. I mean, it's just Hollywood. It's just to scare us. It's not real. All right, let's make a Hollywood movie. It's about a young apprentice, and his job is to defang Dracula. The young apprentice knows nothing whether Dracula is alive or dead, or whether it exists or doesn't exist. Complete neophyte. But the movie is about this one learning all the answers to these questions in volume 1 of the series of The Apprentice, how to defang the demonic. Seems like you would have to learn an awful lot, and being a young spirit, I mean, how old are these vampire spirits? Are they way older? Or have you had past lives that you've long forgotten about, where you learned about things that, are mind blocked in this particular lifespan? Yeah, as a creative writer, you could go multitude of different ways. But living in the human world, we can't work with infinity. We have to put some limits into our script. Otherwise, what do you know? You have to say Dracula exists or doesn't exist in order to make your story go in a 2-hour movie. Unless it's, next week it's going to be a different exist or doesn't exist question. But there's so many questions, infinite number of questions and infinite number of answers. And how are you going to all stick that into a 2-hour movie? So that's why we say when you're making movies, making stories, you have to make some choices. In acting, an actor has to make some choices in order for there to be a story. Otherwise, you're going to sit there in entrancement with all of these possible choices coming by you and you never picking one. Well, if you don't pick any choices, you're lying on the couch when you're supposed to be up, acting, moving around, telling a story. So the original question is it true that the pain body that Eckhart Tolle talks about is coming from past, or is it false? And that pain body, what you experience as pain body, is coming from demonic entities. I'm going to go with demonic entities in this episode.